Yo, yo. I wonder if anybody's in here yet. We got I Am Saturday joining us in a couple moments here. What up, Blue? What up, AI? New AI? What's poppin', homie? I know. That was a crazy ass press conference, and I loved it, to be honest with you. I did enjoy it. Okay, we got Joe coming on now. Everybody say what up to I Am Saturday. He coming in right now. Hey.
Yo, it's good. I figured are we already live?
Yeah, we are already live. I just went live like a
Yeah.
minute ago.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it'd probably be smart to go as close to the press conference, right?
Yeah, I was gonna go live like 10 minutes before like 3:30 just to kind of like give my reaction because that was crazy, bro. I'm like hyped
Dude,
up
that
over that.
was I'm buzzing.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
buzzing off
buzzing,
that
dude.
too. That's what we've been waiting
Yeah.
for.
Insane, dude. Like what first first press conference in a minute that it felt like a McGregor level press conference like, in terms of like how it delivered.
Yeah,
Because I thought it was going to be one of these things where Chimaev couldn't maybe communicate as like as much as you would want him to, and
right.
it wasn't the case, dude.
He was actually over
He started off
communicating. He wouldn't
church.
shut up.
He would shut the fuck up,
I
dude. It was
know.
unbelievable.
I'm
It
like,
was
bro,
so
let
good. What's
Sean
up, dude?
spit
I
that
haven't
out.
been seeing you in a minute. Are
I
you
know,
good?
bro. Yeah, I've been good. Just been fucking busy grinding on the channel. I'm in the middle of like a 90-day live stream streak.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I just figured like why not?
What's that like?
It's kind of like ups and downs, you know. Some days I'm chilling, some days I'm like kind of like tired and burnt out. But I've
But
just been taking it in stride.
you kind of do boxing as well though, right? So you kind of have
Yeah,
you touch both.
yeah, I touch both, so it makes it a little bit easier. But more so, like I'll be covering MMA for most nights on the stream. But like if there's a good boxing event, I'll kind of cover it and talk about it throughout the week, and then we'll do a stream on Saturday for it. But it's
Gotcha.
mostly UFC, and it's been kind of bleak. I've been telling the chat, I'm like, bro, I
Dude, and
chose the
now it's
wrong
not.
time.
Like just like that, snap of a finger, now it's not,
I
dude.
know. Now it's
It's
not.
it
We're
takes
on the
one good card, whatever it is, like good presser, and all of a sudden it's off to the races.
Yeah, and I think it started last week with Perth. That's what I've been saying. Then we got this one this week. We got White House coming up. We got the return of Islam coming up.
Yep.
So it's like we got a lot of good stuff kind of cooking. So as far as
My
the
bad.
press conference
Sorry.
goes, no, you're good, you're good. As far as the press conference goes, bro, he kicked Strickland's leg. One of the thoughts I have about that is I don't know if you know about this, but Strickland, he had that motorcycle accident and
Yep.
it almost like derailed his career. But the big thing takeaway from that is that he tore his quad, he never got it surgically repaired.
He's dude, he's a psychopath. First off, to touch on what you were saying, sorry, I was taking a sip of water.
Oh yeah,
Perth last week definitely did. So did you wake up and do a stream through
I
that?
did.
Just out of
Yeah, yeah,
curiosity.
I
You're
did.
psycho, dude. Because you're on West Coast time, right?
Yeah, so it was like early as fuck.
Yeah.
It
What
was like
was it?
3:30.
Dude, at least the main event was like for sure worth like waking up for. I mean, dude, Carlos kicked the fuck out of
I
JDM,
know. It's
dude.
always nice when
That
I like
wasn't even.
predict it too.
Yeah, you took
I took
him.
Cortez all week. I'm like, bro, Ian
Yeah.
Gary's way better than JDM. Cortez
Yep.
showed his medal against Ian Gary, and he's gonna show it against JDM too.
Dude, so I gave out protest as a track play as well. So it was like I was convinced.
Hmm.
And I got shit on all week because everyone was saying um I got into like a bunch of Twitter arguments about like people were saying that JDM was like a better pure striker than Carlos, and it was all this asinine shit. And I was like, dude, you have no idea what type of beast you are dealing with. Like this guy is different on the feet, and he proved that tenfold. It was sick. Sorry, but back to what you're saying. Yeah, no, Strickland dummied, dude. He was out. This is kind of like right when I started watching UFC. This is back in like 2019, 2020, and he was on the roster, but he wasn't fighting
Yeah.
because of this accident. So I had no idea who he was, and then he came onto the scene. And I don't know if you remember, like back when Brendan Allen was down at 70,
Hmm.
but him and Sean fought at 70, and Sean knocked him out. I think it might have been in Sean's return fight,
It was, I think,
maybe the fight after his return fight.
one of the
But
two.
I remember him coming on the scene after that, and it was like this. It was a big deal because he had just recovered, or quote unquote whatever recovered is, to Sean Strickland from the motorcycle accident. So I didn't know he didn't get surgery though. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean he's been doing fine. He got the belt with no quad tendon attached, but I'm just kind of worried. Like low key, it's just a small worry where it's like I hope that the leg Khamzat kicked, because I was looking at it, I was like rewatching it, and Khamzat looks like he kind of like teep kicked his thigh, like his knee,
Dude, what a
the
piece
left
of shit.
knee, and I'm just
Did you
kind of
see Sean
like I
already
hope.
tweeted about it?
Oh, what he said real quick. I hope Sean that's not the knee, the bad knee.
Yeah.
You know, but what did
Yeah, I
Sean
don't know if it
say?
would have done that crazy of damage. He was like, I wouldn't expect anything less from a coward or something like that.
But at the same time, the way I kind of took that afterwards is like, MTK's in here. He goes, "Can you homies hear them?" Yeah, I think we can be heard, right? Say something real quick.
Test,
Yeah,
test,
yeah.
test.
They can hear us. They can hear us. Okay, what up,
Okay.
MTK? I told MTK to pop in today just because I told him you'd be on. But speaking about the Strickland, I was kind of like, bro, I hate it how like these unhinged guys, they're always the one to punch, and like the ones who aren't as unhinged, they're on the receiving end. And it's like, bro, Strickland shouldn't have been so fucking nice guy. Like, sock that dude, kick that dude, like stoop to his level. Like hit him first.
I know. Yeah.
Like hit him
The
first. Like why is Khamzat gotta hit you first? Like it's fucking heated up. I was watching it and I'm like, Khamzat's gonna do something, but it's like Strickland, you do something.
bro, like I first off, how crazy is the level of security?
It's
Like the
insane
level of
right now. They
security
fucking had him
they
on
brought an
lock.
army, dude. They brought an army to New Jersey.
They were on him
They
as
had
soon as like he kicked Sean. Sean got picked up and like dragged out of there.
are they still saying my sound's good to go? I was just looking at the mic, and it says everything's good on my end.
No,
So
yeah, you're perfect. I'm not sure
okay.
why MTK said that, but shout out MTK
Okay.
anyway.
The dude, did you see? So Chimaev like enters stage left,
Hmm.
and all of a sudden like security approaches him, and one of the security guards. I always think about this. It's like, what is this guy gonna do if Chimaev really wants to act up? Because one guy is like 56 years old, and then the other guy was like 170 pounds, sopping wet, and he's totally like a civilian. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, Chimaev really wants to get over there. He could probably do it, but then after Chimaev kicked Sean, the amount of dudes that swarmed both of them, I think there was like 6 guys on per fighter.
Yeah.
So it's like there is nothing that you can do when there's that many people trying to restrain you.
Yeah, and it looked like Sean gave his best effort to like get free from their
Yeah,
grips,
like
but it
full
didn't
blown
work.
effort.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Anything else? Any other takeaways from the press conference that you had?
Yeah, dude, it's just refreshing. I think I already tweeted this, but it's like, man, it felt like the first press conference in a minute worth tuning into. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
even going into it, it's always awesome when cards or in this instance, press conferences have a lot of hype going into them, and then it delivers, because those are two different things, right? It takes a lot to have a hype behind a card and or press conference, and then it takes even more for that press conference and or fight to deliver. So it's like when it does, it's a hit of crack. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it has me buzzing. It has me. I was excited for Saturday. Now I'm like, dude, it's been all I've been thinking about all week. The co-main event is so sick too. So I mean, yeah, I'm fired up, dude. I'm really excited. That press conference it's always awesome when the press conference does its job and excites people. And I think that like the way in which it delivered will actually bring more eyeballs. Whereas if it kind of just flopped, the same amount of eyeballs
Right.
would have tuned in. So I'm
It's
excited for
reaching
that. I
the
think this has a lot of hype behind it.
Yeah, it's reaching the viral category, right? This fight and the
100%.
promotion to
I
where like
guarantee it's
casuals are
trending.
seeing it.
Yeah, I guarantee it's trending on Twitter
Yeah.
and everything right now. There's nothing else. That's usually like right now, dude, is you and I's like this is where our whatever content or just
This is like the new
knowledge
meta.
base is going to exceed, because the NBA once the NBA playoffs and NHL like the Stanley Cup ends, there's nothing but regular season baseball for like other gamblers. So like the amount of attention on the UFC ramps up. That's why they make such a big deal out of like International Fight Week. The June
Summertime.
card always delivers, and it's going to be the White House card this year. So yeah, man, dude, I'm fired up for
I
Saturday.
never
By the
mapped that
way,
out, but summertime is kind of the UFC's quote unquote season. I know it's year round, but summertime is
yeah,
like
yeah,
that season for them where like the
they
other
have
sports
they
are kind of inactive.
Right. Like the playoffs end, like the NFL hasn't taken off yet. The playoffs end for NBA and NHL, and then like regular season baseball. For anyone that's the only reason I know this is because I've done like my years as like a real DGen gambler,
Mhm.
and like the schedule of events, and right when summer hits, call it like halfway through June until September, it's miserable because it's only regular season baseball to
Yeah, yeah,
gamble
yeah,
on.
yeah. And that's an
Like, and
acquired taste
so,
right there.
which is a real acquired
Even
taste.
for
Yeah.
baseball players. I used to be a
Even, dude,
baseball
even
player
for
when I was a
baseball
kid. I could
fans.
not
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, that's when I think the UFC tries to capitalize on that and put together some like summer fight nights that are awesome. You remember last year, bro, like when Derek Lewis knocked out Talson Teixeira in
Hmm.
Nashville? Like
Yeah.
that, I remember that being like, dude, this is the UFC runs the world because this is a fight night, you know?
Yeah. That's what I think is the great thing about this like last week and then moving on for I don't know, maybe like the next couple months is that like how you were saying earlier, you know, when it delivers, that's a big deal because you can put on good fights and then they don't deliver. And it just is what it is at times. Like Max and Charles Oliveira, you know, that's kind of a good fight on paper. It just didn't deliver for whatever reason. The buildup didn't deliver, the fight didn't deliver. And so like we're over here posting about it. You make your bets and all that kind of stuff. I'd be posting the press conferences and the face-offs and all that. And it feels like a job. You know, it really does feel like a job because I'm not getting the clout off of it that like I want for, you know, these fights. And this one, you know, when I know I'm posting about Strickland and Khamzat, I know these posts are blowing up. It's actually fun to make these posts, you know? And so that's one of the
Totally.
big things I like about when these fights are delivering because but that's also with that being said, that's the UFC's job then. It's like you guys cannot make these half-ass fights anymore because sometimes you guys will make a good matchup, Gaethje versus Patty, right? And this shit doesn't really deliver fully. I know the fights deliver at times, but overall, a give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I need to answer a phone call.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, little on what he was saying, like couple things that hop off the page to me when talking about like Chimaev against Strickland as opposed to Holloway against Oliveira. Like at least if and when Strickland versus Chimaev flops, because you run that risk every time a guy like Chimaev fights. Grappling heavy guy, you know he's going to go for a lot of control time, especially in a stylistic matchup where you have a pure striker in Strickland. At least you have the press conference and the bad beef to fall back on as like an entertainment value because even after this, you know, like when the decision's read, I don't necessarily think hands are going to be shook at the end of this. Like people are not going to be friends, but when you have and so you still have that portion of entertainment value. You take a look at Holloway and Max, like some of the most respectful dudes in the sport, both very tenured, have had their long history of time in the UFC and led a press conference and quite frankly a buildup of just pure respect. It's one of these things where it's like if the fight doesn't deliver, which it didn't, call a spade a spade. You know, even Dana White came out and said that. Um, then it's like, God damn, like we wasted not only a fight week that's a little call it what it is, overly respectful. And the fight then is just 25 minutes of control time from Charles Oliveira. So um, one of those things where it's like at least if and when Sean Strickland and Chimaev ends and say it's not the most entertaining fight, we have the idea that it's like this bad beef, you know, thing to fall back on. So I don't know. I wish I could see the chat right now. I can't. I think I could see the chat between what's it called? Jacob and I. I got the chat right here on YouTube. Let's see. So we got. Let's take a sip of water. Wolf seemed very angry. We got Real Talk 792. Wolf seemed very angry. I think he will still finish Sean within 2 rounds. Hard argument. One of these things where Strickland does it. Like, whole argument here. I want to wait for Jacob to come back to break down the fight, but it's like, how good is Sean Strickland when it comes to actually not being controlled on the ground? Like, the whole narrative in this matchup is that you have the grappling heavy guy in Chimaev, and then you have Sean Strickland, which the training room story is that Strickland is impossible to keep down. You can't keep him down. And if and when that does happen, again, a big task. Oh, what up, dude? Sorry.
That's
Everything
my
good?
bad.
I
That's
was
my
just I
bad.
was entertaining the
Sorry, I
masses,
just had a
just kind of
random ass
talking
fucking
about the
phone call.
what's up?
I just had a random ass phone call. These boys, they've been seeing. Yesterday's stream was crazy. Today, I'm like, I keep stepping away for like minutes on end. It's like, oh my gosh, my bad on that. My bad. It's just,
No, all good. I was entertaining the masses, kind of just talking into the abyss.
oh hell yeah, hell yeah. See, we created a pretty good chat, haven't we? Have you?
Yeah, I
Or
know,
were you
dude. You
looking at
guys
the
got
chat, or were you just talking to yourself?
well, I can't see the chat on my end, so I just pulled up YouTube and I was looking at it, just kind of whatever on the YouTube app. But some guy was saying that he thinks Chimaev, ends Sean in under 2 rounds, and I was just kind of talking a little bit about that. I forget where we left off. Oh, you were talking, dude. I addressed the whole thing where you were talking about how Max and Charles didn't end up delivering, and I kind of just went on a tangent where the thing that sucks if when Max and Charles doesn't deliver is that, like, you don't have a press conference like we just had to fall back on. It's just like so overwhelmingly respectful between Max and Charles, so that when the fight doesn't deliver and the press conference doesn't deliver in the lead up, it's just like, God damn, dude, like you're failing on all levels.
Right. And I know people get like confused when I speak like that because they'll be like, "It was a good fight. Like, what are you talking about?" But it's like, bro, you just got to trust me sometimes because I'm over here making all these posts and I literally track it like in real time. And I know
Oh
when the
yeah,
events are kind of duds and not. And while yes, on paper, Max versus Charles was a cool fight, it didn't deliver to what we wanted it to be. So this one is. And they all can't necessarily, but I think it's just magnitude of fights in general. And, Max versus Charles was a case of a bit of like two old heads. And it's just like this fight with Hamzat and Sean is a fan that's captivating the fans' imaginations. And I think that's why it's delivering because people are actually
100%.
interested. Psychologically, they can't turn away. Psychologically, they saw Max versus Charles. They just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But Hamzat and Strickland comes on your timeline, you go like that and you pull it back down. You know what I mean? You go, was that Sean and Hamza real? Let me see, and you pull it
yeah.
back down. So
See, I'm looking at your Instagram right now. You have what? It's 58K, pretty great.
mhm.
And I think that's kind of cool having an audience that's large because you do have it's impossible to not have a really solid pulse on what the casual audience is seeing and like having a really solid pulse on how fights are going to be measured, right? You just have when shit blows up more, especially when you're the person that's putting it out, it's like so evidently clear that other populations of the internet are tuning in. And that's like, it's a really good measure of like what is successful from the UFC standpoint because the UFC they don't give a fuck about you and me, dude. They already have our business,
Mhm.
right? So it's like they know the shittiest fight night in Perth, Australia at 2 o'clock in the morning for you. Like you're gonna tune in, not only tune in, like you're such a fan that you're gonna live stream and talk about it. They care about John Smith, who's a fucking NFL fan that doesn't tune into anything UFC wise, unless Strickland and Khamzat Chimaev pop off at the press conference, and now he's like, "Oh shit, I need to tune into this,"
Mhm. No,
and
it's
that's
very
when
true.
metrics start meaning a lot and everything.
Yeah, I'm curious how many, or I can just look it up real quick. But the Strickland face off, it's like how many likes does it have so far? It's got like 220 in like 30 minutes.
That's
So
crazy.
that's what I'm kind of like, enjoying. And it's, obviously you get dopamine from social media when your posts blow up. So like I've been lacking dopamine all year, pretty
I
much.
know,
But now I got that dopamine fix.
I
And I
know,
think
dude,
it's gonna be cooking for a minute.
and dude, you talk about like You talk about number one having the attraction of a zero in your record from Khamzat Chimaev. So anytime Khamzat Chimaev fights with a zero in his loss column, there's always more of that intrigue. It's like, can Sean be the guy? Number one, and then you take guys that like chastise it if you will, but like Sean Strickland says some OD shit,
Hmm.
right? So it's like, and it's going to offend regardless of what you do, 50% of people. Like it will offend 50% of people. So you also have that audience that wants to tune in and be like, dude, I would love to see someone kick the shit
This
out of
guy
Sean
needs to get
Strickland.
knocked the fuck out.
This guy needs to get knocked out, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, and then you add animosity on top of it. It's like more than this, dude. It is the most entertaining thing in the world.
Yeah, facts. Okay, so I know that we've already been going for about 20 minutes, so let's get into it, right? We only got about an hour, so I think the last 40 minutes can be dedicated to just a solid breakdown of everything.
Okay.
So let me pull up
Yeah.
a Tapology real quick. Uh,
Bro, your boy Buck, by the way, he's
say
on this. How you, your boy
Yeah,
Buckley?
man. Oh, I'm fucking hyped. I was commenting on your post, and I wasn't even trolling either. I was being dead serious. I'm not worried about that wrestling at all, bro. The wrestling.
No.
Now, if Brady gets Joaquin to the ground, there might be some problems, right? Because Brady is a good grappler, but he's not a good offensive wrestler, And so I'm not really too worried about that. I will say that I would just, I hope Joaquin gets up a lot quicker than he did against Usman, because he was held down for long periods of time against Usman. And I hope if Brady does take him down, he'll be able to get up and the fight can continue. And yeah, if you got any other thoughts about that one?
Yeah, definitely. I'm on Buckley.
You're on
So
Buckley, okay.
has he been on here, by the way?
Say that again. You just froze for a second.
Oh, sorry about that. I said I know he's your boy. How many times has he been on the show?
Oh, probably like 10 or like 15 at
Yeah.
this point, bro. What's funny too is he's doing all these or not all these because he's not too happy about it, but like it kind of like flatters me a little bit that he gives me so much of his personality. And then like I go watch an MMA junkie interview and he's in the fucking grocery store and the interview's like 12 minutes. It's like, yeah, suck my dick, bro. Fuck you guys. Like Joaquin fucks
Dude,
with me way more. I get an hour and a half in the gym shirtless, and you guys are
yeah.
over here getting like homie shopping for food on fight week, 11-minute interview. You know, like have some respect. Like you might be working for MMA Junkie, but don't mean he fucks with you more than me.
Bro, I always say this. You could go back on my Twitter. I don't know how many times I've said it. I have no idea how Joaquin Buckley is a global superstar, dude, because you talk about the personality. He's one of the most personable, funny, loud, best shit talkers in the UFC, and he backs it up when he goes into the octagon. Take the Usman thing out of the occasion. It's one of perennial like greatest welterweights of all time, and he's trying to hold on to his job. No shame in losing to Usman, especially when you're on the come up and you're on an what was it, 8 fight win streak, 7 fight win streak heading into that fight. Um, but yeah, dude, I was fired up to come on here because, dude, to be completely honest, if I was on Brady, I would fucking tell you I was on Brady,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not. I'm on Joaquin because I like, but Joaquin, dude, Buckley will lose. He will lose if he does not go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one route to victory here for Joaquin Buckley, and it is forward pressure, and that is the only route to victory. Because if he fights at Sean's pace or allows Sean to dictate the forward pressure and the takedowns and all that shit, he's gonna get taken down and he's gonna get mauled. But if he goes for, look at the 2 losses on Sean's loss column. What are they? It's Bilal Muhammad and Michael Morales. And what did both of those guys do? They came forward, they threw volume. Bilal fucking put it on Sean's face, dude. It was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really humbled Sean on the come up, and Morales he couldn't handle the power. Now Morales. I wouldn't be surprised if Morales fights at light heavyweight. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's massive. So that a little bit of a caveat there.
The two things
But if
also with
Buckley
those losses is that Brady couldn't take him down, and then he got
and Brady
finished
couldn't take
quickly
him down,
after. It seems like he
right? So
does a
it's
little
like
bit crash out when he can't get takedowns, and he's facing a good striker. He'll just get himself out of there.
when things don't go Sean's way, he starts to melt a little bit. And Buckley is like the perfect guy to to go for it because he cracks. He carries a ton of power, especially down at 170. You got to think, Buckley's used to taking the power of these guys up at 85. Like when he's down at 70, he needs to capitalize on that, capitalize on being one of the bigger guys. go forward, especially in a matchup like this against Sean Brady, and throw dudes. Now, caveat, I'm on Buckley plus, I'm not on him money line. I'm on him plus 3.5 because I do think there's always, I have a high level of respect for Sean. It sounds like I was shitting on Sean earlier, which I kind of was, but I have a high guys. And if Joaquim does lose, I do think that there's no way he gets out of this fight without causing at least one big moment on the feet. And I think that will at least steal a round. I do think, and I also think he poses a bigger threat for a finish.
Mm,
Joaquim's never been subbed either, which is
yeah,
big.
never been
So
subbed, and I think that he's yeah, I just personally think that like the kicks, the punches, the elbows, it's gonna be a lot for Brady. You know, it's gonna be a lot for him to walk through, and I think a lot of people are underestimating that just because of the loss to Usman. You know, what do you make of what's real quick though? What's the plus 3.5?
he can lose 2 rounds. He just needs to win 1 round on all 3 judges' scorecards. So if he loses 29-28 unanimous, he still wins the bet.
Okay, 29
Yeah.
28 unanimous. He wins the bet.
So if he goes to decision with or wins by finish, if he goes to decision or wins by finish, excuse me, if he goes to decision and loses 29-28 unanimous, he wins the bet. If it goes to like split decision, like 29-28 each side, he wins the bet. The only thing that he can't do is lose more than 1 round on all 3 judges' scorecards. So
Okay.
say he loses 30-27, he loses.
Okay. Got you.
But all you need to do is win 1 round on all 3 judges' scorecards and uh and not get finished and you win.
Oh, so even like Brady could win the fight.
That's what I'm saying. If
Got
Brady
you.
goes and wins the fight 29-28 unanimous, that means Joaquim won a round on all 3 judges' scorecards, and the plus 3.5 makes you win the bet.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Well,
So
for those people
all
who are
you need
doubting
to
Joaquin, that might be the best bet for them if they want to take that.
yeah,
Because there's still a
that's why.
chance that you
So
could win it if he loses.
because I don't think Brady can finish Buckley.
Hmm.
Because Brady's number one route to victory is submission. Buckley's never been submitted, and he's not going to knock out Buckley. I'd be put it this way: I would be very surprised if he knocked out Buckley. So it's one of these things like that. I do not think Buckley gets out of this fight without causing a big moment. And I also like the idea. Remember in the Usman fight, right? I think he won the 5th round on all 3 judges' scorecards in the Usman fight. I could be wrong, but if he's down, like Buckley's one of these dudes that goes for broke in the last round. So say he does get out grappled by Brady in the first few rounds, he's gonna burn the boats in the third and try to go for a finish. In
Hmm.
which case, he'll probably win the third.
Got you. Okay. So that's kind of the Buckley breakdown. I did want to go through, let's just kind of give like, and let's just be honest. We don't need a fucking play up to the audience. You know, if you don't know about it, just admit it. It's totally fine. Because, you
Okay.
know, we do get a lot of randoms in here at times. So I just kind of want to run through it, and then as we're running through it, maybe on the bouts that you feel like you have a lock for, because I know you will drop like 5 to 6 bets along those
Yeah.
lines. So we're gonna go through all the fights, but for the ones that you're kind of really highlighting, just say it when we're speaking about it. Be like, this is one of my locks, you know, so this is what I'm going with. But to start it
Yeah.
off, Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ocho. I mean, to be honest with you, I have no clue.
Yeah, so Jose Ochoa and Clayton Carpenter. So let me just explain my system really quick for those that don't follow me on Twitter. I give out every card. I give out 4 plays, 3 straight wagers, and 1 parlay. So if it's involved in or excuse me, on the fights that I have involved in those plays, I'll elaborate a little more. This is not one of them. Jose Ochoa, he's 1-2 in the UFC. Lost to 2 good guys though. He lost to I forget who he lost to in his debut, but lost to Asu Amabayev. Got controlled in the grappling. I was all over Asu Amabayev in that fight. He lost to Loner Kavna.
Mm,
He debuted against Loner Kavna, I believe, on short notice. Lost that. No shame there. Loner's very good. We just saw him beat, Brandon Moreno in a main event. Then he knocked out Cody Durden, which is a very solid win. We just saw Cody Durden get it done the other weekend against Jafel Filio. And then he goes on and gets controlled in the grappling by Asu Amabayev. Clayton Carpenter, I think, is off back-to-back losses. He got weirdly submitted by the Filio guy. in the first round in his last fight. And then he's just kind of like this pure grappler. He's very small, and I don't necessarily know where I would go in this fight. I'll stay off of it. Maybe a shekel or two on like an over, just because both guys like I think the finishing potential here lies in it with Ochoa.
Hmm.
Because Clayton Carpenter, realistically, if he gets it done, he's going to get it done by sub. And we just saw Ochoa last on the ground for close to 15 minutes with the Suamabayev. So I would stay away from it. I would like an over or maybe a knockout prop on Ochoa,
Okay.
but I'm not passionate either way.
Got you. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to skip that one because I really have not even seen them perform at all.
Okay.
But Bassinger, Susurkaya versus Jordan Santos.
So
Obviously Hamzat's teammate, 11-0, Jordan Santos 11-2.
yeah. So weirdly, weirdly, as I said, four plays, one parlay, and three straight wagers. Bassinger money line, which is like a minus 675, is gonna be one of those plays for me. I'm gonna use him as a parlay piece. I'm very high on him. So, do you remember the whole deal with Bassinger, like how he broke onto the scene for the UFC? Do you watch Contender at all?
I do watch Contender, yeah.
Okay, so like Bassinger, right? He gets a contract on Tuesday night Contender Series. That Saturday he fights. Um, I forget who he fought, and he wins by submission in the second round. Then he gets Tom Nolan, not Tom Nolan,
Eric
Eric Nolan.
Nolan.
He beats Eric Nolan, weirdly like competitive fight, and then he knocks out Eric McConico in his wait, do you have the results right in front of you?
I do, yeah.
Did he debut against that Eric Nolan guy?
He did.
Okay. So, and then he gets Eric McConico. We just saw McConico look great against Rodolfo Vieira. Listen, I'm high on Bassinger. Very, very solid striker, great on the ground as well. And I'm not high on Jordan Santos, DeJordan Santos, however you say his name, at all. He's kind of a fat bag of milk. And although we did just see him beat Danny Barlow, like Danny Barlow just didn't necessarily pan out as this guy that's overwhelmingly talented. Like I
Yeah.
was so high on Danny Barlow when he first came on the scene, and he just had some inexcusable losses, to include this one. And yeah, I think Bassinger runs through him. I think he's a really solid parlay piece. I was looking at the props earlier for him to win inside the distance,
Yeah.
to meaning any sort of knockout or submission over Santos, and it's minus 150, which I really like that line as well. So for anyone looking for a solid piece, I would suggest playing that.
Okay, so Bassinger by a knockout.
I'm using him at money line as a straight wager in a parlay, but
Hmm.
yeah, I like that play. So I'll play that play separately as well.
Okay, because he is a big favorite, right?
Yeah, bro, he's like a minus 700.
Yeah, if
He's
I
gonna
was
smoke, dude. He's gonna smoke this guy.
I would just
Santos
probably bet
sucks.
Bassinger wins inside the distance.
Yeah,
That's probably what
that's
I go.
that's if you're just looking for if you're like the casual gambler, or you're looking for a play on the fight, the reasonable thing to do would to play the minus 150
Okay,
on the inside the distance.
for Bassinger.
Correct.
Got you. Okay, and then Pat Sabatini versus William Gomez. I think it's a decent matchup. Um Gomez a bit more of a striker, no? Sabatini more of a grappler?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So
just grabbing a sweater real quick, so just break it down. I'll
yeah,
give you
all
two
good.
seconds.
So for those that don't know, like for those that don't follow me, one of the biggest losses I've had in my entire life was was fucking Pat Sabatini against Joe Anderson Brito. Like Joe Anderson Brito, I had Joe Anderson Brito at the time of the loss to Pat Sabatini, I think was on a 5 or 6 fight win streak. He cracks for 145, and he's also a very good grappler. So like going into the Sabatini matchup where Sabatini had just shown like constant holes when it comes to the chin, I was all over the idea that Brito was going to knock out Sabatini, and then Sabatini mauls him on the ground. It was one of the biggest losses I've ever sustained in MMA gambling. It was absolutely brutal. Sabatini then goes on to do the same thing in his last fight to Shepe Mariscal. I was all over Shepe Mariscal. So it was like, I can't get a fucking Pat Sabatini fight right for the life of me. It's so annoying. I was also on him to beat Diego Lopez because I thought Lopez was fraudulent at the time. Lopez, he then Lopez ends up knocking him out. So it's just I can't get a Pat Sabatini fight right. I do know that William Gomez struggled at times with the grappling of Francis Marshall, and he is a pure striker. But it's you kind of run the risk of a knockout every single time that Pat Sabatini fights because we've just seen a history of a poor chin. So, gun to my head, I would probably take Sabatini
Okay.
just based on the fact that he's fucked me so many times where it's just like I'm not gonna I refuse to fade him at this
Yeah.
point, but the second I do, William Gomez is gonna go out there and take his head off. So
Okay.
I would stay away from the fight, is my honest
You're
opinion.
saying stay away from it. All right. All right. Because I,
Yeah.
I would say I'm probably going to lean Gomez.
Yeah, like Gomez, dude, Gomez isn't a bad play, and Gomez is always also really, really shifty. Like if you've ever seen him fight, he uses great lateral movement. He's long, and he's kind of like a point fighter, which scares me against a guy like Sabatini because when Sabatini gets it to the ground, a lot of guys just don't get up, you
Hmm.
know? So, depends. Dude, Gomez is also big for 45.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I would stay away. Maybe a sprinkle on Gomez, but
Yeah, I'd probably
I'm
stay
done. I'm
away
done
too.
fucking. I'm done fucking fading Sabatini and losing, dude. It's so infuriating.
Yeah, and it's like how do I say this? With Gomez, like he's a bit chaotic. You know, it could go both ways. Pretty like, it just depends how it's going to play out, but he's kind of chaotic to the point where he might knock out Sabatini early with the chaoticness,
Yeah.
or he might get taken down as a result of being chaotic in there. You were saying he's
Yeah,
very
and
shifty, but I think he's a bit also chaotic. He brings a
yeah.
wildness to the fight. But that can
So
win
if
you
you're
it
looking for
and
an
it can lose
excuse
you
to,
it.
if you're looking for an excuse to take Gomez, like keep in mind it's a non-starter on the feet. Like Gomez is the way better striker. I think Sabatini is truly inept on the feet. Like he can't throw a combination. He looks terrible. It's just he's so suffocating on the ground that like I don't know, stay away from the fight, in my opinion.
Stay away from it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now how about Roman Kopilov, Marco Tulio?
So Tulio, do you have a lean in the fight at all?
Um, haven't really like looked into it too much until right now, but I'd say like let's see what the odds are real quick. Minus
I think
180 for Tulio, plus
yeah.
155 for Roman. Says Tulio's got a better strength of schedule.
Oh, yeah, I definitely disagree with that. I think Kopilov's coming off of fighting RoboCop, Paulo Costa, Chris Curtis,
Or what's this
like
thing on
some,
Tapology now? They put a strength of schedule and they put like a 34 next to Roman and a 10 next to Marco. So I don't know if 10 means a better strength or lower strength. Maybe lower
I have
strength.
no idea, but I like Kopilov's fought some murderers, dude. Like
Yeah.
really that's why I find this hard to measure. So Tulio's coming off of his first UFC loss, got smoked by CLD. I gave out CLD as a play in that fight. I think he was an underdog actually. And I was all over Leroy Duncan. He knocked him out in the second round. Looked good doing so. Pure stand-up fight. So it was like this fight's perfect for the casuals because it's just going to be an all-out war. But Kopilov he's been slowly there was a point in time. Do you remember when Kopilov fought Anthony Hernandez?
Yeah.
Dude, like at the time, both guys were on rocket ships, like 4 or 5 fight win streaks for each guy. I took Hernandez in that fight, submitted him in the second. And it's since kind of been rocky for Kopilov, who he ended up beating Chris Curtis. He knocked him out in the third round. Pretty decent performance then, and then dropped back-to-back losses. Both, RoboCop and Paulo Costa shutouts over like weren't was not competitive. Um, oop,
You're good.
sorry, yeah, I just got like a weird Zoom is not responding
Oh.
message. Do you still got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, we're
Um
good to go.
yeah, we're good.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say Kopilov, like, he's just trending in the wrong direction right now, and Tulio has like a high ceiling. He's also extremely talented, and I think you still have the results in front of you.
Yeah.
The Usori guy that he fought on Contender Series, he beat him, correct?
He beat Usri, yeah.
Yeah, and Usori, what's his last name? It's like Bellagori.
Bulgari.
Dude, he's looked so good recently. Like he's the dude that just beat Mansour Abdul Malik.
Mhm.
He was the one that knocked out Bakoyev. Like he's off back-to-back really impressive wins. So that win's aging really well. I'll probably lean Tulio. But Kopilov's good. That fight should be way closer on the line.
Okay. Also, I guess that Trayshawn Gore win for
Yeah,
Tulio, that's pretty good now after
pretty good.
Gore's win
And
over the weekend, beating
do
Bekoev too.
do you remember that fight?
Which one? No, I don't
The
remember
Tulio,
Tulio versus Gore.
bro, he beat the dog shit out of Trey Young. It was like a hard to watch type of
Oh,
fight.
damn, really? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, he beat him up really bad.
I'm not
I would
super
lean.
familiar with him, so I'll stay off of this one.
Yeah, I would lean if you had to lean one direction or another, Tulio, but not super confidently. Kopilov can fucking crack, dude, when he
Okay.
throws.
Kind of like a 50-50 as well,
The line should be way closer.
like you
That's
said.
what's if this line, dude, put it this way, if this line was like a minus 110, I would consider giving out Tulio as like a tracked play.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
but
Then
it's not.
okay, fair enough then. Now Jim Miller, Jared Gordon. I'm gonna say right now, I think I'm gonna lean with Jared Gordon.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Bassinger and the play that I was talking about earlier, that's like a minus 700. I'm parlaying him with Jared Gordon, who's a minus 310 to get like a minus 190, which I don't know if you're super familiar with gambling, but whatever I gamble on it, say I gamble $1,000, I'm going to only profit 500
Mm.
because it's like such a favorite. So, but that's where I'm at for anyone that follows me on Twitter. So there's been 14 cards so far this year in the UFC. That means I've given out 14 parlays. 13 of them have missed.
Oh God.
13 of them have missed, dude. And of the 13 that have missed, 12 of them have split, meaning one leg hit and one leg miss. So it's like I'm fucking done losing money on parlays because I'm profitable on straight wagers.
Mhm.
Like my straight wagers and props, had I just not bet parlays all year, I'd be profitable on the year and I'm not. So
Damn.
I'm done betting these fucking parlays. It's just infuriating me so much that I'm going with the idea of like I'm done considering odds. I'm parlaying two guys that I think are what I consider to be locks. Jared Gordon is what I would consider to be a lock in this fight. The only way Jim Miller wins this fight is early submission. Other than that, dude, the schedule and results of Jared Gordon is really like misunderstood because I don't know if you're going to remember this, but he went to a really, really close split decision with Nazareth Hasparat, who's really, really good. And I thought he was robbed in that fight. Very, very close. He like real argument that he could have won, put it that way. And Nazareth was like on the brink of going to the rankings before getting knocked out by Quinlan Salkeld. He also lost his last fight to Rafa Garcia. If you remember, he got hit by a car. He got hit by a car the night before. Then he's knocking out Marco Madsen flatline cold, who was like an older guy, kind of like Jim Miller. He was knocking out a Thiago Moises in round one. Like this dude can crack, and Jim Miller's 42 years old, man. So, and I don't know if Jared Gordon's ever been submitted. I would have to look at that, but um, you know, at one point or another, the age is going to make a difference for Jim Miller. He's coming off of a loss to Chase Hooper.
Once in the UFC, Gordon's been submitted.
Yeah, I forget who it was against.
Grant
Do you know?
Dawson.
No, yeah, no shame there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fucking Grant Dawson. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
That's a fight that we'll talk about here in a second. But like, yeah, I think Jared Gordon, by the way, for anyone that likes props or plays at plus money, Jared Gordon inside the distance is plus 225. You gotta
Sprinkle.
like that, dude. Yeah. Yeah. So that's winning by any submission or knockout. I love Jared Gordon this matchup.
Would you
I think
go
Jared
money
Gordon's
line
wildly
or
underrated.
what's the lock for it?
So my play is Bassinger, Sushikayev, parlayed with Jared Gordon, which is a minus 196 right now.
Both
Again,
money
not that
line.
lucrative of a play. But if you're looking for a great play, Jared Gordon inside the distance, plus 225 is a great play that I will play.
Okay, got you. So either inside the distance for Gordon, maybe sprinkle a little bit on that one, but mostly parlay it up with Bissinger money line.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. But the
I
like
like it.
Jared Gordon, Bassinger money line if you're looking for something safe. And then going back to the minus 150 on Bassinger inside the distance, parlay that with Jared Gordon plus 225. You're looking at something that's like plus 500.
Okay,
So I think that's a great play.
just fucking tick off all these fucking
Yeah,
these boxes with
yeah.
that fight. Okay, cash out a bunch of tickets. Dawson versus Rebecki.
Dude, yeah. So definitely one of these fights that's similar to Sabatini Gomez for sure. Dawson. So I made a tweet earlier today. Do you have access to DraftKings out in California?
Um, I don't use it because DraftKings in California is like one of these things where, um, like it's not legal. You can only do
Yeah,
these games as far as betting, but you can't bet money line on anything.
that's so weird.
And like you got
Yeah,
to
that's
do
weird.
these like team roster type deals. That's the only legal
Right.
thing that they do. So I turn a blind eye to DraftKings.
So let me just go off on like a weird tangent here for a second. But
Yep.
on DraftKings right now, there's this thing called like a same game parlay builder. So for example, like I could go into the Grant Dawson fight and say I think Grant Dawson is going to win, and I also think that he's going to have more than 2 takedowns. And you can parlay that, and you'll get better odds on Grant Dawson. So I said like the tweet that I put out to the mat like on Twitter today was like if you're gonna bet Sabatini and you're gonna bet Grant Dawson build a same game parlay and parlay them to have over 2 takedowns. Because like if that fight stays on the feet for Grant Dawson and if that fight stays on the feet for Pat Sabatini, they're both getting knocked out. Like they're both or going to lose a decision. And that's like there's no difference between both of those fights. And I think there's great to be honest like really great value on Rebecki here. Again, not something that I'm going to bet with a high level of confidence just because of how dominant Grant Dawson is. I mean, the guy's suffocating and one of the best grapplers that lightweight has ever seen. But Rebecki is really, really hard to control. Like he's such a short, stocky little spit fuck that like when you get him to the ground, he's just like he scrambles out of the way, and him being so small and dense that it's like it's hard to keep him down there. I also like that Rebecki trains with Dawson. I think they're both ATT guys. So he probably has had some looks at Dawson on the ground in training. And the second this fight gets onto the feet, I mean, Rebecki could walk him down and knock him out. And Dawson's also coming off of being knocked out by Manuel Torres.
Mm.
So there's probably decent value on Rebecki here.
Okay, so Rebecki's your pick for that one, and he's a little
Yeah,
bit of
again,
an underdog.
he's like a plus 160.
Yeah.
Again, but if this was a minus 110, bro, in the land of make believe, I might lean Grant Dawson, you know?
Okay, got you. And is this one of those that you're kind of like high on, or is this one of these just like you're just
No,
giving a pick?
giving a pick,
Okay, so
giving a
not
pick
one of
because
the
I have
locks
to.
of the night.
Not even close. No,
Got you,
it's too
got you.
close.
It's a close fight. At the end of the day, it's a close
Dude,
fight.
there's so many. I think his name's Andrew Goombas,
Is he
something
fighting?
like that. He's on Twitter,
Mm.
but he tweeted earlier today about like the fact that like how many crazy striker versus grappler matchups there are on this card,
Yeah,
like from the
that's a
main
striker
event
versus
down.
grappler. That's what I was about to say.
Bro, Strickland-Chimaev and Tatsuro Taira, Joshua Van, Dawson, Rebecki,
Amosov,
Sabatini, Gomez,
Alvarez.
Alvarez. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's crazy.
And that brings us to Amosov, Alvarez.
So Alvarez is
Whoo!
That's a banger. Alvarez is a pick that I'm giving out tracked. So
Okay.
high level of confidence on, dude. I have made a living off of fading the guy. No, I haven't, but like
Mm.
off of the guys that are coming into the UFC, quote unquote, credentialed with very solid outside the UFC resumes, like a guy like Amosov. Say that last name for me one more time so I don't butcher it the whole time.
I say Amosov.
Amosov.
Amosov, Amosov.
And fading them. I did it with Asakura. I did it with Patchy Mix. I did it with I've done it with Whipglatz, the guy at once, which has fucked me because he's won 2 split decisions.
Yeah.
I've done it with dude, countless guys that have come into the UFC. Ask fucking Michael Chandler what you like resumes outside the UFC mean. Nothing, dude.
Mm.
They mean nothing because you're playing in the B League. These promotions, the PFL and the One Championship and the Bellators or the Risings, whatever it is, don't matter. It is not a measuring point against the world's greatest MMA promotion, the UFC. The talent level here is just different. Now, Amosov he's very talented, very good on the ground. And at one point in Joel Alvarez's career, he had a 0% takedown defense, which is an insane stat. Like every single
Everybody thinks
time
that.
someone shot a takedown on him, they landed it, which is crazy. He was also at that time had one professional loss, one or two, was 17-0 by submission, and I think he had never been knocked out either. I like the move. There's a lot of people that are on the side of Joel Alvarez being a bad play here because he's too used to being a weight bully at 155. He moved up to
Yeah.
170.
Yeah.
Um, I actually am not on that train. I think when you're early in your 20s, mid to early 20s, maybe into your late 20s, it's smart to make those massive weight cuts. But I think of guys like, you know, Charles Oliveira, for example. Like, think about how long he cut down to 45. And then the second he moves up, he becomes Charles Oliveira. He becomes like one of the greatest lightweights of all time. I think Alvarez is kind of one of these guys that, bro, he's 6'3".
Yeah, he's cutting
He's
too much
six.
weight going to 55.
He's cutting way too much weight. And I think like the whole weight bully conversation is kind of out the door when you're six fucking three.
Yeah,
You
and
know what
it's
I
just
mean?
like, well, people
It's
like to throw out
still,
the terms, and it's like you need to be able to look at it in a broader spectrum than just, oh, he moved up, he's gonna be trash.
bro,
You know,
how tall are you?
6 foot.
So I'm 5'11", right?
Hmm.
What do you walk around at right now?
Like 195 to like 200. I
Yeah.
guess I'm a little bit
So
bigger than average, but
so before I got hurt, I walked around at like 180, anywhere from like 175 to 185.
right.
So dude, if I put my full effort into cutting 20 pounds down to 155 at 5'11", that would be extremely hard.
Hmm.
Think about Joe, and I was fit, dude. I was like a fit dude. You're a
Yeah.
fit dude.
Right.
Think about being 6'3", dude, for a second.
Making 155.
Making 155, what that takes.
Yeah.
Starving yourself. So
170
I
is kind of
think
insane
like
still.
right, 70 is insane.
Yeah.
So it's like I think the whole weight bully conversation is kind of a non-starter at 170 because I still think he's a big 170er. What I'm more concerned of is like a lay and pray from Amosov here, and it's like when you're 17-0 by submission, you've only been TKO'd by Arman Tsarukyan, and you're going to be the better striker. We just saw it against. I thought he looked great in the striking against Luque. Knocking out. He had great moments on the feet against Jakar Close. Like dude. I think the plus 154 for a tenured UFC guy whose only losses are to Ismagulov and Arman Tsarukyan, moving up, still young, way healthier at 70. I think this line is I think it's asinine, dude.
Hmm.
Asinine. Plus 154. You have to take that.
I
You
would.
have to take that because you can't lay chalk on 185 from a guy who spent his entire fucking career in Bellator. If this guy was that good, he would have been signed before he was 32 years old.
Mhm.
And a submission in the first round against Neil Magny doesn't mean fuck all, dude.
Okay.
Take the dog money on Joel Alvarez.
Okay. Okay. So we're going Joel Alvarez
Confidently.
confidently.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Money line Joel Alvarez. He's an underdog. So go with it. I would say the because Almosov, he lost to a guy like Alvarez who's worse. Jason Jackson. Jason
Bro,
Jackson.
what are we doing? Jason Jackson sucks.
Yes,
He
but here's
sucks.
here's the one thing, right? Jason comes from like a bit of a grappling gym at Killcliff, and we just better hope that Alvarez's takedown defense is on point on Saturday. Because if not, because here's what I'm trying to say is that Amosov, if he can't get the takedown, he's gonna crash out and lose on the feet, kind of like what happened to Jason Jackson. But if he can't get the takedown, it's gonna be a tough one for Alvarez to capitalize
I
on.
do think I do. I'll say this: I think he gets the takedown.
Okay,
I just
but you
think
think
Alvarez
Alvarez
gets
gets
back
up?
up. I
But
think he
because
just
he's at
gets back
70
up.
now and he's more nourished.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And bigger. He's 6'3", dude.
Right.
Like and that's Alvarez also has that stat, and he's not losing. Like he
Mhm.
does get taken down, but he's still not fucking losing, dude.
Mhm.
So it's like, what does it matter?
No, I agree with you. Okay, so Alvarez will be the pick for that one, and especially with it being a close as fight, it's like you might want to go with the underdog, right?
Easy, dude.
Yeah.
Easy. If the line again in the land of make believe, if Alvarez is a big favorite here, maybe I don't touch him, but
Right, but here he's the underdog, so we're gonna
the
sprinkle a
underdog
little
thing
bit
is
on him.
that's what does not make sense, bro. You just kind of need to when you're gambling, you need to pick out things that lines that are just off,
Mhm.
and that line is off. It's
Okay.
off.
All right, Atiba versus Ozzy Diaz. I'm gonna be real. I don't know much about Ozzy Diaz.
I'm on Aussie, dude, to beat him.
Okay.
No, I'm not. No, I'm
Oh,
not. No. Do you know the line? Do you know the line on Ateba?
okay.
He's a minus 1,300. Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's gonna smoke. Ozzy Diaz sucks, dude. This is round one
Minus
KO.
1,000. Yeah, okay. It's a work.
Yeah,
He's setting him up here.
that's all we've really done in the career. But I actually, I'd be curious to know your opinion on this. Like, what do you make of slow rolling guys like Ateba that just have such a high ceiling? Like, I love what the UFC's doing with him right now.
Yeah.
I think that should be more normalized. Like people like to blame Ateba like he's at fault for the UFC's matchmaking here. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, he's young, he's a knockout artist, crazy ceiling. Why are we rushing? There's no reason to rush. Get his feet wet and have him kill all these guys. And then when he's, more developed, give him, real matchups.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with it. Like, here's a person I've been calling for to get like some easier matchups. Don't fast track him to the top because you're gonna shorten his career. Is Jose Miguel Delgado? They've been giving him some good matchups. You know, Andre Feely, Nathaniel Wood, and shit like that. And it's like this is a young man with a lot of potential, and they are kind of like speeding him through. And I'm almost like, take your time with a guy like him. So Atiba, like, I'm not super opposed to taking your time with matching him up against tough opponents. But the one thing I don't like about it is when they get co-signed off of it beating not good guys. That's the thing because and it's just a bit of the uneducated fan base, but you'll have these fans, Atiba will knock out this guy Ozzy in super magnificent fashion and they'll be like, "Oh, this guy's the next champion." And it's like, let's not go that far. Like he's still on his developmental contract. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's the one thing about
It,
fighting the lower level competition is it doesn't tell me anything, but it gives you a lot of time to work out your kinks.
Easy, dude. I,
Yeah.
I also know, shout out to Jose Delgado, super talented guy. It's funny because I actually thought there was like an argument that Feely could have beat him, but I actually thought he beat Nathaniel Wood,
Mm.
if that makes sense. Like I'm very high on Jose Delgado. Talk about like, bro, you're giving him Feely and Wood in his first what? How many fights did he have
Third and
before? I think
fourth,
he
I
had two
think.
knockouts.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think he had two finishes before. That's like, bro, chill out. Like, give this guy like like Delgado's ceiling, in my opinion, is a future like top five guy.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't say that about a lot of contender series dudes. Delgado he has the frame for 45 in the technical ability, and clearly he's a tough kid. Like, man, I'm very high on Delgado, and it was kind of crazy that they give him guys like that. And Ozzy Diaz is getting like Perkins School for the Blind in back-to-back fights. You know what I mean? Like these
Yeah.
guys are they're not UFC material. So I kind of hate when favorites are played. Um, but yeah, shout out Delgado. I know he's been on the program a few times. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of him.
Yeah, I should get him back on. The other thing I would say, just as like a devil's advocate, is like because we're kind of like trying to be on Delgado's side a little bit with that. Um, there's a perspective of like, well, you go through that ringer, right? You go through the hardest tests, and it's only gonna make you better if you can make it through it, right? If you don't quit and surrender, you make it through these hard tests. Maybe you have a speed bump, you have a hiccup here and there, you lose, but you didn't turn down these tough tests. I think I think that's what Cortez is to some degree. I think that's why it looks so easy against JDM is because this dude's been given all tough fucking opponents his whole UFC career. And even pre UFC, he's doing wild ass shit in Thailand. And I just get the vibe from this dude that he steps up no matter what. And he's been through so many tough circumstances that fighting the former champion, right? The first fight after losing his belt in his hometown, it meant nothing. He walked out there
Yeah.
pressure free. And so maybe that's like a devil's advocate for Delgado getting pushed really quick. And that could be something that plays out where it's like Atiba, if he gets pushed up or with a slow build, then they finally give him a guy that's good and he loses. What's the narrative? Fraud checked.
Right. Yeah,
So it's a
exactly.
very complicated thing. That whole thing with like finding a gauge on these fighters is one of the hardest things to do in this sport because
Completely.
because of how they
It's
match them up and there's favorites. If you're a big celebrity type guy, you're gonna get slow ruled. If you're a not big celebrity type guy like a Jose Delgado, you're gonna get fed to the wolves. And it's just how the
completely. It's
game
it's
works. And so not every win is equal.
it's a form of respect thing too. Like they're not giving him, you got to think Nathaniel Wood, they've done everything to keep the kid out of the rankings, right?
Hmm.
Like they put forth their full effort to not rank Nathaniel Wood. I've been screaming about it for what feels like years at this point. And giving, Delgado Wood is one of these things where Delgado gets the win over Wood and they still don't rank him. But if Delgado beat Wood, it's like let's get Delgado into the rankings. It's a
Mhm.
total double-edged sword.
Yeah, that's why they gave Delgado to Wood, right? Because they're trying to favor Delgado still.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right.
I got
So
you.
shout out. Let me know next time you have him on, dude. I would love to talk to him.
Okay,
He's
bet.
a sick dude.
Yeah, he's dope. I think he was a bit shy the first time, so maybe next time around he'll be a bit more like open. Because I've been
Yeah.
seeing some of his interviews and I was like, oh damn, I didn't get that version of Jose. So maybe he's feeling more like himself now.
Yeah, he should. He's a
Yeah,
talented guy. He should feel like one of the most lethal fucking dudes on the planet because
no,
he is.
definitely. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get you on when I have him on so you can tell him that. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
will.
so you're I mean, there's not really a bet on this one, Atiba versus Ozzy. I guess you can bet finish.
It's minus 800. Yeah,
There's no point.
round one. The only way to play it is round one,
Round one knockout.
Atiba.
Or inside the
But
yeah. Win inside
just a heads
round
up,
one.
like he went decision last fight, so
Okay, yeah, and he dropped his opponent early, right? And he couldn't even finish him. I think I was a bit disappointed with him off that performance.
yeah, I don't
He
know. I think it was
dropped him
Tulio.
when he was fully healthy, and then
Yeah,
his opponent recovers and he couldn't put hands on him for the rest of the fight.
yeah.
Compromised. So
I
I
don't
was
know.
just like, "Oh my gosh, bro. If you dropped him when he was injured, then why the fuck aren't you dropping him when he's compromised?"
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, this guy, he has bricks in his hand, dude. Like if he touches you, you're going to bed.
Mhm.
You know.
Um, Also, I would just like to say when you drop a guy, something that I think Jose did wrong against Nathaniel Wood, because he dropped Nathaniel in the first round too. You gotta follow up with a submission attempt. You
Murder
got
him.
you gotta
Murder him.
try. This whole
Yeah.
thing about
He hit
getting
him with an
on.
elbow, right? Was it an
Yeah,
elbow?
yeah, but like you gotta really, because they're so out of sorts right there, and punching him, you could even knock him back into like sorts. So in
Yeah.
my opinion, these guys gotta like hop on a neck quick when you drop your opponent. Just give it a
Yeah.
try. If he gets out, then you tried, it didn't work. But I think you kick yourself in the ass way more when you didn't attempt it and then you lose a decision like Jose did.
Dude, does he have a fight book, by the way? I don't think he does.
I don't think he does.
Yeah. I'm
He'll
curious where
probably
to
have
go with
one
him.
soon though. He's still on his like little media tour after the win over Feely.
Yeah.
Okay, so King Green, Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah, interesting fight. Jeremy Stevens is confusing to me. Like he's all over the place, bro. I thought the UFC would be for sure done with him when he lost to Mason Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was like a one and done thing because they brought him back. It was in Iowa. It was in Des Moines. So they brought him there. Really good fight. Like he put up a good fight against Mason Jones, and we've seen what Mason Jones has done since the UFC returned. Like he's a killer, you
Mm-hmm.
know. That last fight against I think it was Axel Sola, or it might have not been Axel Sola. I forget who it was, but War, like unbelievable fight.
Wait, I think it was
Um,
Mason versus Axel.
was it?
I
Yeah,
think it
it was a
was.
complete war, whoever it was. And then before that, complete war against Pelagioki. So like we're seeing what Mason Jones can do. And like Jeremy Stevens tuned him up, you know. Now, what's confusing me is Bobby Green knocking out Daniel Zellhuber in his last fight in the second round. So it's like, what is Bobby? Because I've like hopped on the Bobby Green train and hopped off and hopped on multiple times now. It's like, what am I doing with Bobby Green? Am I a believer or not? Um, but I love when they do age appropriate matchups like the Jared Gordon,
Me
Jim
too.
Millers of the world
Yeah.
and the Jeremy Stevens, Bobby Greens of the world. It's like let's not give these guys like young, hungry murderers. Like let's put them in the same age range, and if they start really taking off, then give them tests. You got to lean Bobby Green,
I think
in
it's
my
I
opinion.
think my lock is Bobby Green.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of my
that's not a
locks.
bad. I considered giving it out as a track play.
I'd probably go maybe
It's just
just I could see him
it's one of these
finishing
things that
Jeremy.
it always scares me with how low Bobby carries his hands, and
Mm-hmm.
when he's fighting a guy that carries power like Jeremy Stevens, it scares me. But I mean, he's so swaggy, dude. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so sick to watch.
And I
It's
think
so
Jeremy's
cool.
just a little bit past a lot past his prime to
Yeah,
be,
I mean, just losing to
knocking out,
PFL, bro. You know.
yeah, King Green and shit like that. The,
Yeah,
the the King Green name is really throwing me off. It's like Bobby or King, bro. What the fuck are we calling this guy?
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I go lock Bobby. I'd probably go money line just because I could see Bobby finishing or decisioning Jeremy.
Yeah,
I'd probably just go money line. I know he's minus 300, but I just lay it on there. Maybe bet like 2 units.
I'd be really surprised if Bobby knocks out Jeremy, but I was like astonished that he knocked out Zell Huber. So what do I know? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sean Brady, Joaquin, we already broke it down, but you said plus 3.5 for Joaquin Buckley or something like that. That's the bet.
That's what I would play. Definitely value. Like, put it this way: if there's a risk for a finish in this fight, I think it comes on Joaquim's side. Like, I don't necessarily love the finishing potential from Brady here because Joaquim's we already went over it, but he's never been submitted. You know, Brady wants to get it to the ground. Um, and dude, Joaquim, another thing that I just didn't cover is like probably one of the most explosive dudes in like regardless of divisions.
Oh,
He's just so
100%. He's a physical
explosive,
specimen.
physical fucking specimen, dude. And he closes distance so fast and he carries a ton of power
I just
and he's
don't think
down at
Brady got what he can what Joaquin's bringing to the table, and I just don't. I'm happy you're saying. And sorry to even cut you off, but I'm just that shit just excites me sometimes because how the fuck do people not see this?
I don't
That's one of
know.
my biggest
You know,
things. Like, bro, the disrespect on Joaquin right now is crazy. Like, this dude is a straight physical specimen. Can this guy Sean Brady even keep up for 15 minutes? Like, we're
right.
talking about Joaquin Buckley here, but everyone wants to I don't know, just downplay it because the Usman loss. And it's like, bro,
Yeah,
what the
that's
fuck?
why. That's why. Because you got to. I watched the Usman fight last night, weirdly. And but people are confusing. You brought up a really good point earlier.
Mm-hmm.
People are confusing grappling and wrestling. Usman's a very good wrestler,
Mm-hmm.
and he has very good top control. Brady also has really good top control, but he's not that great of a wrestler. Like go back to the Leon Edwards fight. If you watch it, ton of over 11 minutes of control time from Sean Brady, really impressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch it, Sean Brady doesn't necessarily grab like an awesome takedown in that fight. He had one maybe towards the beginning of the second round. It was like a blast double leg. Um, but everything else, it was like Brady slowly closing the distance on Leon and then clinching in the middle of the octagon and going for like these weird trips. Like he gets the fight to the ground in a really creative way. Whereas Usman is like a push it against the fence, force his fight, wrestle it to the ground, and then get there and stay in top position. So I
That's why you're
think
saying that thing about walking him down. Because if
if
Brady gets
exactly
Joaquin against the cage, he has crafty takedowns.
right. So
But if
that's
he
what I'm
can
saying. Like if
keep it in the middle,
right.
Brady
So
really
if
struggles with
Joaquin
takedowns.
stays, if Buckley stays on the front foot and he goes forward,
Yeah.
Brady's not going to be comfortable, dude. He's not going to be comfortable. We know who the better striker is. We know who carries more power. And so I just think it's one of these things where if Buckley hasn't been submitted, then is Brady going to be the first guy? Maybe. But like chances are no. That means Brady decision, right? So if it's Brady decision and you have 15 minutes with one of the most explosive fighters in the sport in the octagon, there's no way he doesn't create a moment to at least win a round. I think my true prediction, Buckley round two knockout is my
That's
prediction.
my true prediction too. That's straight up my true prediction. I think
I would
Joaquin's getting him out of there in the second, bro.
I think he would knock him out. Maybe it's like, and
Maybe
maybe it's just a
third, but
moment. Maybe it's a moment. Maybe he gets controlled throughout the first round. But I loved Joaquim's attitude in the fifth round, knowing he was down 4 rounds to Usman, not giving up on himself, and still winning the round, looking good late. I love that. And yeah, I
I see
think
Joaquin
bare
building
minimum he
as the
wins a
fight
round.
goes.
Yeah, bare minimum wins a round, and I think he has a really solid potential to finish the fight. So
Yeah, I would say it like this too. I really don't want to say anything where Joaquin loses a round, but I'm just trying to be diplomatic, right? And not be so biased. So just hear me out. I think Joaquin's going to build as the fight goes. Whether that's from the first to the second or the second to the third, I think that's what people should keep their eyes on. Meaning, okay, let's say if it's second to the third, that'll probably mean Brady got the takedown in the first round. But I don't think that's enough to fucking discourage Joaquin. He's coming out in the second, and he's going to begin building in the second. And by the third, I think he's going to get Brady out of there. Now, if Brady doesn't get a takedown in the first, then I think that's Joaquin building time in the first round, and he gets him out of there in the second. So it really depends if Brady can get a takedown in the first or not. If Brady gets a takedown in the first, I'll say third round finish. If Brady doesn't get a takedown in the first, I'm gonna say second round finish. Because
yeah,
as
and
soon
then
as
there's
Joaquin gets his confidence, it's over for Brady. And that might happen early with the first takedown stuffed, or it might happen when he stuffs a later takedown, right? But as soon as Joaquin gets his confidence, I think it's over for Brady.
Brady also has Brady's like this pitter patter fighter on the feet, right? Like when he closes distance, he goes like right. He like throws these really quick jabs. It's beautiful, but Joaquim also has a huge reach advantage here. He's got weird arms, bro. Have you ever noticed that? Like how
Yeah.
long he looks like Geodude, the Pokemon.
He's like
Like he has
five
these long.
nine, 5'10". He's got like 76-inch reach.
It's crazy. So he has a long reach, and when Brady needs to come in on that, and fucking Joaquin can crack. Good luck, dude.
On
I'm
top of
happy
it,
it's not me.
right, and on top of that, it's like, okay, Joaquin just wrestled Pat Downey at RAF, right, earlier in this year. He's coming off a loss to Kamaru Usman, who he trained with for this fight. Now you're gonna go up against a wrestler and Sean Brady, and you think that's the guy who's gonna give you problems? Like, bro, you just went against Usman and Pat Downey. If you're not familiar with Pat Downey, he's a D1 All-American. You know, he tried
Hey,
to be
pop
on the
quiz.
Olympic team. He's actually a world champ.
Pop
So,
quiz. Who did he beat before Usman? Joaquin.
Wonder Boy, or no, sorry, Colby,
Exactly.
another better
Colby
offensive wrestler than Sean Brady.
than Sean Brady.
Yeah,
So it's like
I hear you.
again, I don't get the line. You got
Yeah,
to look for things that don't make sense, right?
mhm.
And I just don't think that makes a lot of sense.
I don't think it makes a
Disrespect.
lot of sense
Brady,
either.
Joaquin, and then also just because I know he's your boy, and just like things to consider here. This is a big fight for Joaquin. The biggest fight of his career is next fight, win or lose,
Hmm.
because it's a 2-fight win streak if he loses, and it's or excuse me, a 2-fight losing streak if he loses, which will kick him down in the rankings. And if he wins, bro, that next fight is he's right in the title conversation.
Hmm.
So it's like, and he's so good on the mic and he's so promotable. So it's like, dude, you beat Brady, who's very, very good. Very good. Well, I feel like we're shitting on Brady a lot. Like Brady's a really talented guy, man, and a huge accolade and accomplishment if Joaquin beats him.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is like the fight that I'm looking forward to outside of the main event, like the most
I
on the
say the
fight.
same thing. I've been
Yeah.
saying I'm giving respect to the champions. I'm not gonna say it's a better fight than the championship fights, but like aside from the championship fights, this is the fight we're all locked in on.
Oh, dude, I'm fired up. You know it's gonna be an all war because Brady's tough, dude. I'm afraid of. Excuse me. I'm a fan of Brady as a human as well. Just seems like a super genuine guy. So I'm fired
So
up.
so hear me out. Hear me out. I want to say some things about Brady. I don't know, man. Like Brady and my whole, relationship with Joaquin, I really have grown to dislike Brady. And to be honest, like I've never been like this about Joaquin's opponents. Like he had beef with Wonder Boy, that's his thing. I don't really give a fuck. Usman, actually going into the fight, I was like, shit, I respect Usman. I couldn't even say anything bad about him if I wanted to. Like I said, respect to Usman for taking the fight. When Usman took the fight against Joaquin, I was more appreciative than anything. I was like, wow, Usman's a real one. He took the fight
Oh,
against
dude,
Joaquin
yeah,
because I didn't want
my
Usman to give Brady that opportunity. I
yeah,
wanted Usman to give Joaquin that opportunity because Joaquin is a guy who pushes his name. He does everything right in the promotion. You deserve a matchup like the greatest welterweight of all time in Usman.
easily.
That's why I didn't want them to give it to Brady. And so I was like, damn, shout out to Usman. Like, respect to you, homie. And that's just, I'm saying that to say, like, I respect real shit. And that's some real shit. That's why I respected Usman. I don't respect Brady. I'm going to just
Yeah,
tell you right now.
I'll also say it goes back to our conversation earlier. It's a sign of respect and a compliment to how promotable Joaquim is that they gave Usman, or excuse me, that they gave him Usman in
Right.
a main event of all things, because that means like, hey, there's no bigger sign of respect from the UFC than giving you a former champion when you're on the come up,
Mm-hmm.
because that's like we're building your name value off of a former champion now. Never mind a champion like Usman, who's probably has a really solid argument. I don't even know if it is an argument. Probably the best welterweight ever.
Like one
So
or two, right? It's him and
one or two.
GSP.
If he's not one, he's convincingly two.
Yeah, so I just say, the best, but whatever, fuck it. And then also with Brady and Joaquin, it's like, for the longest time when Joaquin moved down to 170, Brady's always no selling him, right? Never responding to him. And that shit rubbed me the wrong way. Like he elevated himself above Joaquin and like now you gotta fight him, bro. And I don't know. I just really do not like Brady for all the stuff that he calls Joaquin loud every chance he gets. I think it's getting to the point of racist.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, the first few times I was chill with it. I'm like, you know what, whatever.
I actually, dude, it's funny that you say that. I haven't seen anything about Brady at all in this buildup. It's weird. Like
I've
I
been
haven't
seeing
seen
it, but I pay attention. And this is the thing too, though, about Brady is like, so Brady was the one who opened his mouth first, right? They signed the contracts. Brady goes on Ariel's show before me and Joaquin did our interview, and Brady starts bringing up their beefs. And then now it's like, oh, I'm not a trash talker. I don't want to trash talk. It's like, why'd you bring up their beef in the first place? Meanwhile, Joaquin hasn't said shit about Brady. The whole fight, the build up. He hasn't really been saying much. The press conference yesterday, he said 5 words.
Yeah.
Brady's talking more shit, and then Brady gaslights Joaquin, and he's like, Joaquin's just the shit talker. It's like, you're the one talking shit on him. I asked
I
Joaquin
know,
if you guys have a beef, and Joaquin said there's no beef. The beef
dude.
is the beef. Here's what the beef is, though. The beef is that Brady just like no sells him and he doesn't respect him. I think that's what the beef is.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
Brady no sells him and doesn't respect him. And I think that, you know, I don't think Joaquin even cares, though. I think I speak for him with that. Like, I don't think Joaquin gives a fuck that Brady doesn't respect him and shit like that, but I do. So
Yeah.
I think there's a beef. But Joaquin said, he's like, there's no beef. And he even said, like, if there was, like, beef is when it's equal exchange. Brady doesn't even apply any smoke back when I press him. So there could be no beef. There's no equal exchange. I pressed
Yeah.
Brady. He didn't say shit. So how could we be beefing?
Dude, I made the same mistake of last time. I'm on YouTube on my phone just to see like what the chat's saying.
Mhm.
And I had this thing way too close to me, so I think it was cutting off half my face.
Oh shit! I didn't even notice it.
Yeah. Can you
Okay.
see it on your end or no?
Yeah, I see you right now. You're like centered now perfectly.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I haven't so do you watch like are you getting these off of Brady's podcast or something?
Well, I just like they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Oh, I keep Brady
Yeah.
real close. I keep him close like a best
Dude,
friend.
you ride hard. I
Yeah.
respect it. You ride hard for Joaquin, bro.
So I've been
Hey, but
watching the
he's showing
Brady
you love, you know what I mean?
podcast. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like I fuck with Buck off the strength. He's done so much for my career that like shit, homie. Like I can't even help it. Like I'm riding for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I saw him go on
Easy guy
Ariel.
to root for.
Right, and he's a good dude, man. Like a lot of people just it'll all be told eventually. But he's a good dude, and he deserves to be pushed because I just see this narrative all the time with him, and it's like that's also why I've doubled down because it's like if it wasn't for me, bro, I don't think Joaquin would have had as big of a push for the last few years. Like everybody always wants to dim his light, like fucking quiet him down, shadow ban him, and it's like that shit pisses me the fuck off. So like I really took it upon myself to be like, yo, I'm gonna show everybody, what I see in this guy. I'm a buck
Yeah.
pill everybody. The red pill. I'm buck pilling
Buck
them.
Bill.
You know what I
I
mean?
like
All the
that.
things they can't see in him, this whole other perspective to Joaquin Buckley that nobody can see, right? Let me reveal it to you. And that's
Yeah.
what I've done.
No, it's a good point too. He's also an easy guy to root for, right? Not only entertaining, but I believe he's still with the same gym in St. Louis, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, or we'll just say in his hometown.
In his hometown,
Yeah.
or is it? Oh no, is it? He's not St. Louis. Is he Michigan?
He's St. Louis, but he was in Michigan before.
Okay,
He
got
lives
you.
in St. Louis. So basically what
Got
happened
you.
with Joaquin is he came from St. Louis, right? But he was also getting some training in Michigan with some guys. And he ultimately decided, like, I want to go back home and build it all at home and create something at home. So what he's trying to do is
Loyalty,
actually like
dude.
this lasting thing. He's at home because he's trying to be an influence in his community. He
Yeah,
doesn't ever say that, but that's the truth. It's like he's trying to be there so when kids come into the gym in St. Louis, they see St. Louis as Joaquin Buckley in there.
yeah,
And
bro.
that's why he came
He's an
back.
easy guy to root for. Easy guy to root for. Crazy talented, crazy talented, and a legend, bro. It's hard not to be. I don't know how like you cannot be about like, bro. You're gonna chastise being loud in this sport. You get nowhere not being loud in this
I call
sport.
Sean
You
Brady
know,
Mr. Do Nothing for Nobody.
bro. It's like
And he's the one
if you're
chastising him for being
Joaquin,
loud.
in my opinion, if you're Joaquin, be louder, be louder. And if you're offering feedback or putting a negative connotation around that, you most likely don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to self-promoting. Dude, it's the number one. You and I have had this conversation before, but it's the number one least utilized um least utilized trait out of fighters is self-promotion. I shit on the Tommy McMillan kid all the time. I think he's a little insufferable. He's not very good at fighting. Tommy McMillan self-promotes.
Hmm.
And
At
and you can
least he
take
does
nothing.
that.
At least he does that. You can take nothing away from the kid because he's sitting there and making a case for himself. And guess what? He just cashed $100,000 check
Hmm.
for fight of the night and knocking out some bum from the middle of nowhere because the UFC loves him because he's from Sean O'Malley's camp and loud, and that's really it. That's really it. And like, if you're gonna argue with that, you're arguing with success. You're arguing with what success looks like in mixed martial arts.
There's already been a blueprint, so I don't know why
There's
Sean
already a
Brady's trying to
blueprint.
hate on it. You
Yeah.
know, if anything, you're the dumbass for not being loud.
Exactly. You're 1,000%, right?
So that's why I don't like Brady, because he's always throwing this shade, and then on the back end, I'm like, Brady, you don't even do your job right. What the fuck are you criticizing my guy for?
Yeah.
You know, like, especially when he's doing the job, and then now it's a bad thing in your eyes. Like, Brady's like my I gotta say, Brady's like my least favorite, bro. Like I've been
That's
holding
crazy.
I've been holding it back.
I've always found him, dude. I found him to be like this respectful dude, but like I don't know what you're seeing. You probably know more than me. But
yeah, I'm just trolling when I say this, but I'm holding it back. Like I've been being like, we're gonna jump Brady, like we're gonna jump his ass. Like keep fucking with my man. We're gonna jump you, homie. Like I'm just playing.
Don't bring me into that. Don't bring me. I'm a liability, bro.
Not you.
I'm a liability. You're gonna get my.
Saturday's gonna come in there, fucking throw a couple 1-2s. I know Brady would beat my ass. That's why I keep saying, I'm like, shit, you know, we gotta jump him. I'm admitting, like, he's gonna beat my ass too. That's why we gotta jump him.
Dude, DJ MTK, we're gonna put MTK on his ass.
Yeah, we got MTK.
Answer for us.
Get some of the San Diego goons down over there.
Yeah, right.
Pull up on Brady. No matter what, we pulling up on Brady. They're saying pack him out in the chat. But yeah, I've been telling the chat too. I'm like Saturday night, we smoking on that Sean Brady pack, baby. Saturday night, we putting him out cold and we smoking on that Sean Brady pack. I'm lighting up that Sean Brady pack.
All right, yo, I got 10 more minutes until I got to get to a dinner.
Let's just speed run it.
Okay, is it
because there's 3 more. Volkov right? Versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. Yeah,
I would say, dude, another fight that's really close. I love cards, by the way. Side note, that think about all these cards. There's some like maybe 2 or 3 outliers that are massive favorites and underdogs, but everything else is just so close on the line, which just shows how good the card is. I lean Volkov. I think Waldo's on a great run. The 3 knockouts are a little sus. I mean, Derek Lewis, very old. Ante, I was never on the train. Never thought he was that good. And I also bet him. What's up?
Tom Aspinall's teammate.
Right? Like, that's the hill that everyone dies on. Like, I forget who he fought in his last fight. He lost a decision, and I was on that person. Spivak, I believe.
Yeah.
And I was all over Spivak, gave Spivak out as an underdog. Made no sense. And then he has one other knockout. I forget who it is. And again, I like Waldo, but Waldo lost to Pavlovich, and Volkov dominated Pavlovich. And I don't necessarily know what Pavlovich offers that Volkov doesn't. And if Pavlovich can convincingly beat Waldo by decision, I think Volkov can do the same. Volkov also convincingly holds the grappling, advantage here. I think he's a little older, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't bet on this. Apparently, you can't bet on Russian fighters in the state of Massachusetts through DraftKings. No idea why. Weird. Yeah, so weird. But I like Volkov. I can't bet it, so obviously I won't. But
honestly, I was thinking Waldo Cortez, but with the way you broke it down, I'm gonna lean towards Volkov. He's also the taller guy. It's gonna be a tougher battle for Acosta to land that knockout shot like he's been landing.
Yeah, the reach is going to be a big deal here, and again, like, Waldo's a little bit of a one-trick pony. Like, he's got the big overhand right and some striking, but if Volkov wants to take it to the ground, he's gonna fuck him up. You know?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough fight for Waldo now that the way you broke it down. So you going money line or what for Volkov? What would be the
I would go Volkov money line. I think he wins a decision.
Okay, let me see what's the odd. Oh, minus 185. That's kind of like a messed up odd too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a bad one. Minus 185. You could still make a little bit of money off of it.
I think a lot of people are going to hop on Waldo, to be honest.
Yeah, they are because of the hype as well. Yeah. The hype in the line probably. But yeah. The line is one thing if it's a true 50-50, but like I'm trying to tell you, I don't think it's even a 50-50. I think it's like a 70-30. So I wouldn't even bet the underdog when he has a 30% chance of winning,
Completely. Yeah, you're entirely right.
Yeah. Van versus Taira. The first Asian male main event for a title fight.
Right.
All Asian, yeah. History. Van or Taira, the grappler versus the striker.
What's your ethnicity? Do you have Asian heritage?
Yeah. What did you think I am? If I could ask that one real quick.
Like Italian, maybe? I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah.
I'm
What is it? Do you?
bro, I'm so mixed. So like basically my mom's from Hawaii and my dad's from
Okay, yeah,
Guam.
bro, you look Hawaiian. I was gonna
It,
say Hawaiian, but that's not like, is Hawaiian an ethnicity?
yeah, it is. It
Like it's
is.
Pacific Islander, right?
It's like yeah, they group it all in like Hawaiian, Pacific Islanders, like all is like a whole box I check.
But you're not, bro, you're not that dark. Like
I know
you're like a light-skinned Pacific
because my
Islander.
mom's like half white. So,
Okay,
so I got a
got
full
you.
white grandma. So here's what I am. I'm Hawaiian,
Yeah.
Chinese, Portuguese, and German. That's for my
Okay,
mom.
got you.
And then my dad's like 100% Guamanian. I don't know if you know where
Oh, okay,
Guam is.
got you.
It's like a U.S. territory. It's not really
Yeah,
recognized
bro,
as
a
a
bunch of,
state.
they call it fake ass Hawaii in the military.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
territory. It's not a real state.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to either of them?
I've been to Hawaii. My mom lives there, but I've never been to Guam.
Okay. Have you, how often do you go to Hawaii?
Pretty often. I haven't gone just because I've been so busy grinding over the last couple years. But before the last couple years, like sometimes twice a year, at least once a year type shit.
Is she on Oahu?
Yeah, she's on Oahu.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. I was on a cargo ship that went back and forth from LA to Oahu for 4 months.
Oh, really?
Bro, I love Oahu. Next time you go there, I don't know when it's gonna be, but go to Duck Butt Cafe, dude. It's a
Okay.
Vietnamese spot there. Unreal. For all the listeners too.
I've
But
never
either
been
way,
there, but I've been to a lot of
bro,
the good food places, so I got to try that.
yeah,
Because
it's
whenever I
dope.
go, there's always like some new food places I'm trying to, go
Yeah.
to.
Bro, Hawaii,
Duck butt
Duck Butt Cafe.
cafe.
Yeah, it's dope.
Okay.
But yeah, bro. Yeah,
Whenever,
make it short.
real quick
Make it
though,
short.
I just want to say this
Yeah.
one. Whenever, like, people always are confused at what I am until I tell them, and then they're like what you said, you're like, oh, I see it now. Like I see it now. It's like you
Yeah,
could be like
yeah.
5 different things. It's like shit. I am 5 different things.
Yeah, I know. What,
Yeah.
dude? I'm the most fucking Northeast like Boston dude of all time. So like Scottish, Irish, like white guy. Like that's
Yeah.
it.
Just a
It's
mix of
very easy
white.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like black Irish. Like I got really dark hair and everything. But
Sometimes I joke
um,
too. I'm like a black Mexican because people think I'm Mexican.
yeah, yeah,
And then
dude. That's what I was gonna guess.
yeah, and then my dad's also really dark. Like so he's the dark ass one because he's 100% Guamanian. But since my grandma's white, it just kind of balanced me out, I guess.
Got
But
you.
so I'll
Yeah.
troll too because I told the chat one time, I'm like, when I was a kid, I straight asked my dad if he was black. I did, no joke.
Oh, he's that dark.
He's that dark. So I was like, yo, are
Yeah,
you black? And he's like, no, why would you think that? But so now I
bro.
joke, I'm like, I'm black and Mexican and Hawaiian and all these things.
Dude, I've never met someone that's pure. What'd you call it? Guamanian?
Yeah, it's called Guamani. Or they also say Chamorro, but I think it's like a different um part of the race.
I don't know if I've ever met like a native of Guam.
Bro, I've barely met them in my life either.
Isn't that crazy? There's because I don't think it's like this overwhelmingly populated country
And
or
it's very
territory.
small and like
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
super
not even
small.
it's super underrepresented.
Yeah.
Like
But yeah,
Philippines is kind of similar to Guam, but Philippines is way
dude,
more well known.
a ton of people end up there on military sea lift command ships, like MSC ships.
Hmm.
So I know dudes that have spent like 8 months over there just like offshore, and they go to Guam. There's not a lot. There's like a big military installation there. And like that's really it, bro. But they said the island's like gorgeous, like super nice. You should try to get there. I mean, a lot of heritage for you, you know?
Yeah, I want to go one day because like I feel like I might be able to see more of like my people, so to speak. Because when I go to Hawaii,
Yeah.
I do see like the people are more like me. Like we all got
Yeah.
kind of similar builds and shit like that. When I'm walking around like in California, there's like a lot of people who aren't like Pacific Islander or like Asian mix.
Yeah.
So like, I'm kind of like I feel like to put in simple terms, when I go to Hawaii, I see a lot of bigger Samoan guys that kind of like remind me of myself. But here there's
Yeah.
barely any fucking like big old like Polynesians. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So I
Oos.
think if
What do
I
they
go
call?
to
They call them oos, right?
exactly, yeah. If
Yeah.
I go to
Yeah.
Guam, I'm sure I'd see another like part of my heritage that I haven't really like identified yet.
Bro, Guam also has like, not to go off on a fucking tangent, but also has like, there's cool spots on beaches there that have a bunch of World War II equipment that are like left over.
Hmm.
Like you can go like swimming. There's like tanks, like World War II tanks in the
Oh
water.
shit, like the Pearl Harbor type shit in
yeah, yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah, like shit like that.
Okay.
It's supposedly cool, but I'm
Yeah.
on Taira. Weird transition.
Yeah.
I have at the beginning of January, I placed a bet that Taira was going to be champion by the end of 2026 at plus 800, 700. Um, very, very straightforward fight, grappler versus striker. I always take the grappler in those situations, especially when they're high level grapplers like Taira. He's a murderer, dude. I think he's one of the most talented dudes in the sport, bar none. And I think, Joshua Van's a little bit untested when it comes to that. And dude, the version of Taira that showed up against Brandon Moreno was, I don't want to get over dramatic, but it was like borderline something that I've never seen before. It was so dominant against a guy that's so good. So it's just, I think the ceiling is there. He's only 26 years old. The UFC wants him to win because there's a massive market in Japan. And I wish it, I don't necessarily wish it was the case, because I love Joshua Van. I'm a huge fan of Joshua Van, who's all entertaining. I just see, bro, I see Tyra really mauling him on the ground,
Hmm.
like bad. Like I see this fight weirdly playing out as uncompetitive, weirdly.
Kind of like the
Um,
Brandon Moreno fight.
kind of like as like a there are levels, because when you can't offer, you know, Joshua Van has shown good takedown defense. I just think it's a little different when it's Tyra.
Hmm.
And I'd be surprised if Van gets it done. And if he does get it done, it's one of these things where it's like how fucking good is Joshua Van,
Yeah,
at that point,
I know. If he
So
really shows the
either
grappling,
either result in this fight is like mind blowing to me, which is
yeah.
great. So I'm fired up,
What
dude.
is
I
the
love
lock
Tyra.
for you?
I'm giving out Tyra as a play, minus
Just money
162,
line?
just to win.
Okay,
Yep.
got you. To just give you my thoughts on it, I did have you on because you're the main one giving your takes. That's why if people are wondering, like, Jacob's not really giving too much of his opinion. Well, I'm
I
having
know, my
Saturday
bad,
on for
bro.
that. No, I'm having you on for that. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
just like giving you my like little chime in, but just so
Yeah.
everybody knows, don't even apologize for that. That's exactly how I wanted it to go. My heart says like I want Joshua Van to win,
Yeah.
but I think Tyra's gonna win.
Yeah. Totally. I think,
Because Van
you
the OG,
know,
he kind of gangster. I like that in fighters,
yeah.
obviously. So that's why I want him to win because I like him as a champion. He's cool. Like I think he's dope. But I do think logically win. And bro, minus 200. What's it looking like for you? Is Tyra still minus 200 for you?
Nah, he's minus 162 now, which
Oh,
is,
that's
it plays
better
into my reasoning.
for
Yeah.
money line.
So for money line, yeah,
Yeah.
he's minus 162. I also like, it's one of these things, dude, the amount of times where I've had to bet against the guy that I like more is countless, Um, so, for example, like I like Sean Strickland more than Chimaev, but I would bet Chimaev,
Mm,
in this instance, just because I don't know if the guy will ever lose a fight. But that's definitely the case here. Like, how likable is Joshua Van, not only as a dude, but in the octagon as well? I mean, how can you forget the Roy Val fight? One of the best fights you've ever seen.
mm-hmm.
The round against Edgar Shirez at the in the Sphere. I don't know if you remember that. One of the best rounds we've ever seen. The guy's all entertaining, fast as fuck. Some of the best striking in the sport, which goes super under respected. But yeah, I just think Tyra's too suffocating.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
think it's a
cool though.
straightforward narrative.
Yeah, it's cool though
Yeah,
because both these guys have countries behind them too. So whoever
yeah.
wins,
He's
it's like
Miramar, right?
yeah, Myanmar and Japan. So,
Gotcha.
we got two markets that are kind of opening up with these wins. Myanmar already been
Yeah,
opened up, but Taira trying to put Japan on the map now. So I like it.
100%, man.
I like it a lot. I think that's why the UFC wanted this matchup so bad and they overlooked the Pantoja because they're like, we need to book this fucking,
Yeah.
Japan versus
And let
Myanmar
and let me be
bout.
clear. I think the winner of this fight, who will fight Pantoja, they won't make an immediate rematch, wins. They beat Pantoja.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
crazy too though when you consider it because I know Van and Pantoja only lasted around less, but it's like Pantoja beat, and this is obviously MMA math, but I'm just saying Pantoja beat Moreno, right? All those
Yep.
times, every time he's undefeated against Moreno, and it's like Pantoja ends up losing a Van, didn't really get any takedowns and shit like that. So it's just an interesting one, just to kind of like, because we're
Yeah.
kind of downplaying Van's grappling, but it's like maybe there was something in there that Pantoja didn't even see an opening for a takedown for
Yeah.
however long the fight lasted. So I don't know. Maybe there's something that Van didn't get to show that Pantoja saw in the fight that we're not really acknowledging. I
Right.
guess we'll find out on the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great fight. Great fight. Love that they're
Um.
both early 20s too.
Yeah, I love it as well. Now Khamzat versus Strickland. If I'll just go first, real quick, just because I want to kind of get your thoughts. So I want to share this ahead of it. Man, I've been leaning with Strickland a lot. Obviously, I want him to win, right? But just in general, too, when I was trying to logically break it down, I was leaning with Strickland. I cannot, in good faith, lean with Strickland. I just think this dude has a lot of cap. I mean, the wrestling talk, and then I see video of him getting beat in wrestling, the sparring talk, and it's like this dude. If you want me to explain it, I will. But this dude Strickland has been lying through his teeth, bro, about everything related to Khamzat, in my opinion. And like, I'm just like, bro, there's no way. Like fucking Sean, like this dude been lying. Khamzat ducked me in sparring. I called out Khamzat because he's beating up guys in the gym. It turns out you called out Khamzat because he was going too hard on you in sparring. I thought you guys never
Yeah.
sparred. Why the fuck you keep lying to me? Because are you trying to save face? Did the truth
Yeah.
not go your way? Does the truth not suffice? Strickland been lying through his fucking teeth.
Yeah.
And so I'm
I
kind of
know.
irritated with Strickland
So
about all this. He says I'm the best wrestler. Anyone who wrestles me 15 minutes, I'm winning it. Bro, you're getting taken down by fucking Monster Abdul Malik. The fuck is going on here? Why are
yeah.
you lying to
Yeah,
me? I'm
dude.
believing you. I'm being like, oh, you're gonna gas out Khamzat. He's gonna fucking fail these takedown attempts. The fourth round, he's gonna be gassed. You're gonna knock his ass out. It's like, but you've been lying to me, motherfucker. So now I can't take that route. I'm taking Khamzat. He's taking your ass down whenever he wants. DDP did it to you. Khamzat's gonna do it worse. That's
Yeah.
my pick.
So I would say there's two realities in this fight. There is the reality that, or excuse me, there's two ways this fight plays out. If if you're on the Sean Strickland side, which you're hoping for a miracle, in my opinion,
At this
you know,
point in time, you're hoping for a miracle.
you're hoping for a miracle, but the miracle will look like this. Khamzat Chimaev goes out, even in your miracle situation, and mauls Sean through 2 rounds. The 2 rounds to start the fight are it's a fucking non-starter. Chimaev will maul him on the ground. If then it so this is your miracle. He then kind of mauls him a little less in the third.
Because he's getting
Sean
tired.
and Sean gets up in round 4 and round 5 and lets loose with the striking and somehow finishes him.
Right.
There's no way Sean wins a decision, in my opinion. I'd be very surprised if you're banking on Sean. It's late TKO, and I don't know if that's going to happen against a guy like Strickland, who's as talented as he is. Um, it's just one of these things. Like I don't know if Chimaev will ever lose an MMA fight. That's where I'm at with the whole thing.
At
So
least
it's
like
like,
an evenly contested one at his respective weight class. Like he
you
might
know
lose
what I
at
mean?
heavyweight.
Yeah,
But
right.
that's like the shit we're talking about with Hamza. And then like Strickland's supposed to beat him.
He's that dominant. He
He's
is
very
that
dominant.
dominant.
And
So
I like Strickland to win. I wanted him to win. But like I said, I've been paying attention all fight week. And it's like Strickland's been disappointing me a little bit, man. These clips that are
yeah,
coming out, the storylines that are coming out, I'm like, damn, Strick. Like,
yeah.
damn,
You
bro.
know, you're banking on, in whenever this is the case, when you're banking on a round 4, round 5 TKO KO, it's just on how often, bro, you go to any fight and you look at the odds for that to happen, it's like plus 2,000 every time, right? So
Hmm.
it's like you're banking on crazy narratives, and the inevitable truths that are going to happen is a mauling from Chimaev early.
Hmm.
So it's like like we're never going to see Sean go out there and dominate Chimaev in round 1 on the feet. Like it's
Hmm.
just not going to happen.
Yeah. It
So
would be in
I
the
don't know.
fourth
That's
and the fifth and maybe the third,
maybe,
like you're saying.
and that's a lot to ask against a guy like Chimaev, who by the way made DDP look like a fucking amateur. Put him into a crucifix multiple times. Fight probably should have been called multiple times. I think that's exactly how it's going to go. I'll sprinkle on Sean, to be honest. Like I'll throw a dime on it, because if you've seen the odds, they're like plus 4 or 500,
Hamzat's like
reasonable.
500 favorite right now. I didn't see what Sean
Yeah,
is.
and
Sean
and
is
like
370
it's
underdog.
just one of those fights where I won't have a ton of money on it, and I will want some action. So I'll be like, all right, whatever. Maybe the Sean miracle happens. The reality here is it's probably a Chimaev routing.
Yeah, and here's one of the last maybe nails in the coffin I'll make for this bout is a lot of people, because we are speaking about the gassing, right, for on Hamzat's side as a potential. Let's just keep in mind that the gassing was taking place at 170. right?
Right.
People are gonna say Usman, you know, in the last round he kind of gassed out against Usman, but Usman's great, bro. I mean, if he got tired, he got tired. I don't think it's because of the weight or because of he gasses. I think it was just a tough fight with Usman.
Yeah.
But now that he's at 85, I don't think he's gassing out as much. And on top of that, I mean, he just went the 5 rounds with DDP and completely dominated him. Where was the gassing out then?
Right.
You know, but on top of that, I just want to point it out because we're speaking about the gassing. I don't think it's going to necessarily happen because he's at 85 now. If it was at 70 and he was weight draining himself, this is when that conversation is actually more realistic to take place because we would say he's cutting a lot of weight. He's going to gas late in the fight, but he's not cutting a lot of weight. He moved up to 85.
Yeah.
With that being said, he
the Joel Alvarez conversation that we had earlier.
Same conversation we had. But with that being also said, not only did he move up to 85, but he centered his camp in OC, my hometown, by the way. But he centered his camp in OC with Sam Calvita, the training lab cardio coach out of that garage and shit. So twofold, you know, he's at 85 and he's training with this coach that, like, you know, all he knows is cardio, VO2 max. So best believe Khamzat's going in there with like the highest possible VO2 max. And the VO2 max is how you register cardio. You know, that's the grading scale.
He'll go down as Chimaev is going to go down as one of the most dominant fighters to ever fucking live. He's inevitable. And
do you think Chimaev could knock out Strickland? Because that sparring footage, bro. I think, and that's the funny thing too is like I was watching that sparring footage. Chimaev, he throws a big overhand right and he pulls it, but then Strickland, he's like, Chimaev's not gonna beat me by wrestling me. He's gonna beat me by, you know, a big overhand right if he catches it and gets lucky. And I'm like, damn, he almost did get lucky when you guys sparred though. Like I personally think I just have a vision in my head that Khamzat's gonna knock out Strickland. Like Khamzat's finishing Strickland.
Possible.
And
I could see TKO. Like I could see TKO on the ground as like highly likely.
Like something where it gets really damaged and you know finishes off with a few more punches, not out cold. Maybe, bro, if he puts Strickland out cold, my gosh, that's gonna be insane. But we've never even seen Strickland rocked.
No, we saw Pereira put him out cold.
Oh, we did. But that was just out cold. We haven't ever seen Strickland where he's like kind of hurt and wobbling around and shit. It'll be very interesting if Khamzat could do something like that.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Crazy.
So
I'm looking forward to it, bro. I got a dip though.
Okay, that's gonna be the breakdown.
Thank you very much for having me on. It's always dope talking to you, dude. Hey, when you get Delgado on, I want to talk to him. He's a fucking cool dude. So hit me up.
All right, brother. And then you can just dip out since I think you got to go right now, and then I'll just say bye to the stream.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good, bro. I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Maybe we can keep it a bit more regular.
Dude, we need to. I got to get on here more often. I'm just super busy with work, so I'll hit you up. Like, what's the next? I'm trying to think. Bro, let's do the White House card. We got to get on. We got to talk the White House.
Yeah,
card.
Like I was thinking, like the numbered cards and shit like that. Maybe once a month, have you on.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely got to do White House card. Undoubtedly, I think that's the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I think the chat actually really liked this stream. Just to be honest with you, just so you know, like before you get off, because like we have 20 people watching right now, and usually that's like me solo numbers type shit. So I think a lot of people are enjoying it. And they're also chatting up a lot because I think you give a lot of opinions. So they're able to kind of like, you know, respond to you.
Bro, and then actually, dude, let's definitely do that. Like, because the next numbered card is White House. And then after that is International Fight Week. And that's the McGregor card. So we know shit need to do both of those. Those are back to back. Like
so let's lock in for those three. And I think the audience likes it. So
I like Thursdays too. Thursdays work for me, and it's cool. It's like press conference always goes down right around then. So if we could let's coordinate it around the press conferences if we can.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, bro.
Max
nice
Energy says W stream, so shout out.
Okay.
All right, bro. I'll see you next time then for the White House card.
Yeah, bro. Great talking to you.
Great talking to you. Peace out, brother.
See you, dude.
Okay. So that's that, boys. Next time, respond to the chat so we can discuss your opinions. Nah, I know AI, but to be honest, it's just difficult because he only had an hour and a half. You see how quickly he had to get out of here? So if we were acknowledging the chat, we would have made it through like half of it. So sometimes, you know, sometimes you guys need to sit back, drop your chats, and just, you know, chill. Sometimes you're not going to get a response from me, boys. Come on now. I'm bringing on guests for you. You know, that means it's going to take away from me reading all of your chats. But we do have solo streams several days a week. So, you know, tomorrow's a solo stream and we'll do it then too. I'll be responding to you guys. I've missed you boys. So tomorrow we'll chop it up. Hopefully you guys liked Saturday though. And I think that the conversation about my fucking heritage, my roots, really got you guys going, because that was like peak viewership when he was asking me about being from Guam. I was dropping detailed breakdowns, no cap. Shout out to Soda Pop. I actually didn't have the chat up because I was like looking at Tapology the whole time, but I would periodically come in. Like I saw Jew saying, we rocking with Buckley. Jew got put on to this channel from my Buckley interview. So shout out to Jew. Always been a day one Buckley supporter. He don't got no hate towards Buck. Speaking of hate towards Buck, fucking Perfecto goes, Buckley about to get slept, Perry. Homie, what the fuck you mean slept? That's the wrong way to speak about it. Sean Brady ain't slept nothing his whole life. Sean Brady ain't slept nothing his whole life, homie. Anyway. Never knew you were Guamanian, bro, says Max Energy. Shit, I didn't even know you would have fucking known what that was, Max. Nobody knows what Guam is or Guamanian. I swear it's the most underrated ethnicity in the U.S. is Guamanian. It's got to be. Considering it's a U.S. territory but not a country, nobody knows about it. I actually just like don't even talk about it because the amount of times I've brought it up and people have no clue, I got sick of explaining it. Who Brady done slept? Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody. Jew, are you kidding me right now? You kidding me right now? Key Sweat, nobody. Shit, nobody, bro. Max Energy says, so dope. My first girlfriend was from there. Her auntie always had the best food. Yep. You fuck with that chicken adobo, Max? I don't know if you ever had it, Max, but that orange rice, that's unique to Guam. You know, only Guam has that orange rice. Or maybe they call it yellow rice. I don't know. I actually haven't had it in a long time. But Guam, you know, they do the pig, they do the chicken adobo, and they do the yellow rice. Or red rice. I think they call it red rice. Anyway, boys, I'm a dip out of here. I'm a dip out of here just saying what up. Brady can be explosive at times. Tony Sal, shout out, homie. Brady going down, bro. Brady going down. I can't wait. You guys all going to be happy for me too when Brady goes down. Okay, so that's the stream. Shout out to you guys for watching. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. And yeah, it'll be a solo stream tomorrow, boys, so we could break down some stuff further. But hope you've been enjoying the content for the last couple days. Bro, that rice is peak. Yeah, you know about it then, Max. Yeah, that red rice is peak. Soda Pop goes, what if deep down Sean Brady was my favorite combat sports athlete ever, and I think his boxing is on the level of Floyd Mayweather? Oh my gosh, Soda Pop. I would just be so disappointed in you, and honestly, I just know it's not true. I just know it. Peace out, boys. Peace out, Otto. Peace out, Tony M. Peace out, Max Energy. Tony says, Buck is loud. Shit, you racist motherfucker, Tony. No, I'm playing. Only Sean Brady, that racist motherfucker. And I know it. We're going to have a crazy chat this weekend with the Myanmar crowd. Expect chaos. Oh, that's right. All the Myanmar fans are going to be tuning in. We got so many subscribers from Van's last fight. All right, boys. Peace out, though. Peace out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out of here. Brady got ate up by Canelo hands. Yes, he did, you.